Saturday Night Lights Football would like to congratulate the 1992 football team on their induction into the RMHS Athletic Hall of Fame. The legacy of the 1992 Reading High football team goes beyond the basic fact that it was a dominant 10-0 undefeated Middlesex League champion and a Super Bowl participant. The 1992 team built a dynasty as it set the standard for all other Reading Championship football teams that have followed for over 20 years. The program had not won a Middlesex League title since 1974, and thoughts of playing in the Super Bowl were considered a pipe dream. The football was becoming such an afterthought in Reading that beginning in the 1990 season, home games were being played at 10:30 a.m. on Saturday mornings, seemingly in an effort to get out of the way and not ruin everyone's weekend. The Reading football program hit rock bottom in the 1990 season with an 0-10 record. Changes needed to be made. The seeds for success of the 1992 season began in 1991 when Tom Kasprzak, who had been the head coach at Thanksgiving rival Stoneham for the past 9 years, was hired as the Reading coach. Kasprzak got the players, parents, and the community involved with Reading football to help build a foundation that has not been cracked since. Players' fathers such as Jim Murphy Sr., Chuck Shenna, and Joe Donegan helped Kasprzak with getting a weight room, raise money for new equipment, and hold off-field team bonding events. Along with top assistants like John Bowner, Bill Drummey, and Jim Margano, they provided hope, direction, leadership, and knowledge to the players needed. One of the first things Kasprzak did to point the program in the right direction on the field was to make a positional switch in changing sophomore tight end Jimmy Murphy into a quarterback for his junior year. The Rockets experienced some growing pains in 1991 and finished 3-7 with a host of veteran players returning for the 1992 season. They had a strong bond, work ethic, and quiet confidence, and the groundwork had been laid. It became a whirlwind season of success for the 1992 Rockets, with fire engine escorts, pond fire pep rallies, and Channel 5's Mike Lynch covering the Thanksgiving Day game in Stoneham.
Because the last time they had an undefeated season was 1974.
It was obvious right from the start that running back Billy Tucker, who had scored 10 touchdowns in 1991, would have a big impact on the offense along with Murphy, who broke the single-season passing yardage mark in 1991. The two provided also excellent leadership that transcended down to everyone. Ultimately, Tucker and Murphy were able to springboard their success from 1992 into football scholarships. But according to Tucker, Kasprzak never let their heads get big. Their coach reminded them constantly that it was all about the team, not about individual efforts or stats. Said Tucker about Kasperzak's influence, "I was leading the state in scoring, but still felt I could get benched at any point if I didn't run hard." Other returning standouts and role players like captains Matt Peabody and David Baggs, along with the likes of Owen McDonald, Dwayne Sigsbury, Kevin O'Malley, and Charlie Kane, were solid junior class led by skilled position players such as Tom Fratto and Chris Donegan. Reading went up to Gloucester for its opener on September the 19th and dominated the Fishermen 26-8 to get the season off to a fine start. The following week at Wakefield, the Rockets spotted the Warriors a quick touchdown before roaring back with a 33 unanswered points for a 33-7 victory. Winchester had long been a source of frustration for Reading High football teams in the 1980s and into the 90s, but that was all about to change as Reading held the Sachems to under 100 yards of total offense in a 36-0 romp. Chris Cosenza, the team's deep threat, and Tucker caught TD passes from Murphy. The Rockets put up another big number the following week at Watertown in a 48-0 blitzkrieg. Peabody caught a TD pass from Murphy, while Brian Keefe and Jeff Marshall also found the end zone. Tucker also found the end zone, and this time 4 times, as the Reading was making believers throughout the region with a 4-0 record. Burlington was dispatched 26-12 as Tucker took the opening kickoff back 95 yards. Senior fullback Mike Cashman also scored on a 20-yard run to highlight the 26-12 victory. Melrose came to Reading on Saturday morning, October the 24th, for a big game. The Red Raiders were now the #1 contender to Reading at that point, and while Melrose did put up some resistance, Tucker pounded the ball at the Red Raiders 29 times for 155 yards and a score. Cashman also added a TD while Sigsbury booted a field goal home from 30 yards out. Lexington was considered the next threat to Reading's league title hopes. However, a 3-touchdown second quarter had the Rockets in control en route to a 25-7 victory. Reading routed Belmont the following week in Belmont 35-14, and then that set up a home game with always tough Woburn. The Rockets hit the Tanners hard with 3 big scoring plays for touchdowns. Jim Murphy, who had wound up an all-Scholastic safety thanks to a season-high 8 interceptions, stopped a fine-looking opening Woburn drive with an interception in Rocket territory. And just a few plays later, Tucker galloped 61 yards for a touchdown as the Rockets were well on their way to a 25-0 shutout to wrap up the Middlesex League title.
It's a thrill of a lifetime for me, probably the greatest thrill of my sports career, and I owe it to you kids. Thank you.
On Thanksgiving Day game in Stoneham, the Rockets had to overcome the elements as well as the Spartans in a sloppy 7-0 victory, and the Super Bowl was next. The Super Bowl during the 1990s of league champion against league champion didn't have that big Gillette Stadium feel as today. Reading had to play Methuen on a snowy Saturday afternoon on December 5th. Perhaps there was a bit of a letdown in the setting, but a very good Methuen team took advantage by racing out to a big lead early. And while the Rockets more than made a game of it, they fell short in the end, 26-19. Despite not winning the Super Bowl, the significance of the 1992 season is surely not diminished. It was an amazing group of players who were focused and believed at a young age. They lived through an 0-10, yet stayed committed to each other and the program that they believed in. The carryover effects from that year had a long-lasting reach. Kasprzak coached for 12 seasons and won 8 more Middlesex League titles to go along with 4 more Super Bowl wins in 4 appearances. Present-day coach John Fiore, an assistant under Kasprzak, has seen his program then go on to win 7 Middlesex League titles and 3 Super Bowls with 2 victories. And all of it traces back to the 1992 team that built their winning ways from scratch. They made plenty of memories along the way, learned various lessons, and made lifetime relationships. Said Murphy, "We built the foundation of the program with a special group of people, all playing vital roles, coaches, players, parents, fans, and we paved the way for 25 years of RMHS football success."